All right, everyone. Today we're going to be covering moles, molar mass, grams, mass, number of particles, and how to do all these calculations in between. Okay? So I think the hardest transition into any student when they start learning chemistry is what exactly is a mole. Okay? Once you understand what a mole is, a lot of the rest of the class becomes considerably easier because understanding what a mole is requires you to think like a chemist. Let me first answer that question. What exactly is a mole? Okay? So when I look at, let's say, a cup of water, okay? If I have a cup of water and let's say there's only water in there, there's only H2O in here, okay? I can put that cup of water on a scale and I can measure the mass of water. Okay, let's say I zeroed the scale beforehand to account for the mass of the cup, and let's say that I measured the mass of water in this cup to be 500 grams. Okay, I can put the water on the scale and I can measure its mass. Okay, what I can't do is I have no instrument. I can't look at the water, I can't put it on a scale, and I can't tell how many particles of water, how many molecules of water are in my cup. Okay, I can't measure that. I can't measure number of particles. So, if I want to find the number of particles, I need to do some math. I need to do some calculations with quantities that I do know, okay? And now here comes in the quantity of molar mass, okay? What is molar mass? What is this quantity? This is how many grams are in 1 mole of something. 1 mole, a mole is a unit that describes how many particles you have, okay? I'm going to use the word particles because sometimes you're going to be dealing with molecules like water. Sometimes you're going to be dealing with atoms like oxygen or hydrogen, okay? The word particles corresponds to either of those two situations. How many grams are in 1 mole? 1 mole determines how many particles are in your item. So let's say I give you the molar mass, okay? The molar mass of water is going to be 18.016 grams per mole, okay? Which means if I wanted to find the number of moles in my cup of water, it would be 500 grams, and I need to convert this to moles. So I need to get rid of my units of grams, so I'm going to put 18.016 grams on the bottom, and I'm going to put 1 mole on the top. You see, I've got grams in my numerator and I've got grams in my denominator. So these are going to cancel, and I'm going to multiply across. So I'm going to get 500 divided by 18.016, and I'm going to get that there's 27.8 moles of water in my cup, okay? So that's how we do the math. Now, let me continue my explanation of what exactly is a mole, okay? Obviously, there are not 27.8 molecules of water in my cup, okay? We know that that cannot be the case. So, what exactly is a mole? I told you a mole was a measure of how many particles, but how exactly is it a measure? Well, here comes Avogadro's number. It's commonly abbreviated as big N sub A. Avogadro's number is a constant. It tells you how many particles are in each mole, okay? So it's 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd particles per mole, okay? What that means is if I take this mole quantity that I calculated earlier, and I want to find the number of molecules of H2O, the number of particles, I can do 27.8 moles times 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd particles per mole. My mole units are going to cancel out, and so If I want to find the total number of molecules of H2O, that's 27.8 times 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. Okay, that's a massive, massive number. And you can understand now that we need a massive, massive number if we're talking about how many molecules of water are in our cup of water. They're some of the tiniest things in the universe, okay? So obviously there would be a massive amount of them in our cup of water. The reason that we use moles and we don't use particles, even though they're representing the same thing, is because it would be really, really awkward and inconvenient to say, oh, I have 26 billion trillion particles in my cup of water. Okay, that would be stupid. You know, chemists are intelligent people. They understand that people don't want to work with numbers that huge. So what we do instead is we decided to divide the number of particles by Avogadro's number and say, this is what we call a mole. 1 mole is this many particles. Particles are different from mass, okay? Specifically, how they're different from mass is 1 particle of water or 1 molecule of water is 1 species. It's 2 hydrogens bonded to 1 oxygen, and it's that 1 molecule, okay? Your mass is how much matter is contained within your sample, okay? The mass of 1 particle of water is different than the mass of 1 particle of sodium, for example, okay? The reason they have different masses is because the nucleus of sodium is heavier than the nuclei of hydrogen and oxygen put together, okay? When we're talking about moles, we're talking about number of particles. When we're talking about mass, we're talking about the cumulative weight of all those particles, okay? A good analogy that I like to use is, let's say I have a huge tub of sand, okay? Let's say I have 1 mole of sand particles, okay? And let's say these are made up numbers, okay? But let's say my 1 mole of sand particles weighs 2,000 tons, okay? My 1 mole of sand weighs 2 kilotons, okay? This is number of particles, this is mass, this is weight, okay? If I take my 1 mole of sand and I put it all through a grinder, okay? That means my 1 mole of sand, my sand particles are getting broken up into smaller particles. They're being grinded down. They're being split apart and ground into a finer sand, okay? So if I'm splitting apart my sand particles, I have more particles, all right? So maybe now I have 4 moles of small sand now that everything has gone through the grinder, okay? But remember conservation of mass. Even though the particles are smaller, I still have the same total weight of sand. It's still going to weigh 2 kilotons, okay? This is the difference between moles and mass. So this molar mass quantity is something that's very important, okay? It allows you to do something very useful. It allows you to take something you can measure, the weight, and convert it into something that's useful in everything in chemistry, the number of moles, exactly how many particles are in your system, okay? So it would be important for us to know how to calculate molar mass. So let's do an exercise. Let's say I have methane, CH4, okay? And I want to calculate the molar mass of methane. I don't know the molar mass of methane. How do I calculate it? Okay, you need a periodic table. A periodic table can have many different types of information, whether it's more complex, more simple, but the absolute most basic information that all periodic tables have, even the most simplest, is 2 numbers. You look at your element, let's say it's carbon, and it'll have 2 numbers, a bigger number and a smaller number. The smaller number is going to be the atomic number, that's the number of protons in the nucleus, and the bigger number is going to be the molar mass of that element. You might have oxidation states up here, You might have other information in this box, but this is the bare minimum that all tables have. So you want to look at the molar mass of your atom. Okay, in this case, the molar mass of carbon is 12.01 grams per mole. The unit is not given to you. You need to memorize that this is the unit. Molar mass is in grams per mole. So what this is telling me is that each mole of carbon atoms weighs 12.01 grams, okay? Now, when you want to find the molar mass of a molecule like this, when you want to find the molar mass of something that is comprised of many things, you need to find the individual molar masses of all of the constituents. So I'm also going to look for the molar mass of hydrogen. I'm going to look at hydrogen. It's going to have a 1 here, and it's going to have a molar mass of 1.008. Let me picture this for you. If I have methane, which is a carbon bonded to 4 hydrogens like this, so let's add up all the weights of our atoms. The carbon atom weighs 12.01 grams per mole. The hydrogen atom weighs 1.008 grams per mole. Okay, and I have 4 of these hydrogen atoms. So if I want to find the weight of this whole molecule, I take the weight of the carbon plus the weights of the hydrogens, which is 4 times 1.008 grams per mole. Okay, this is a multiplication. So this would ultimately turn out to 16.042 grams per mole. This would be the molar mass of my methane, of my CH4. So to put it simply, if you want to find the molar mass of something, you do the molar mass of each constituent multiplied by the number of times that constituent is there. All right, so to sum all of the math up for you, because you're going to be taking away the math from this video, if I have 27.8 moles of water, then I can multiply this by the molar mass of water, which is 18.016 grams per mole, to get my grams of water. Okay. Always remember to make sure your units agree. If I have moles and I want to get to grams, 1 is I need to have my units of moles cancel out. 2, I need to have units of grams in my numerator. Okay. Finally, if I have 18.016 grams of water, I could multiply this by 1 over the molar mass to get to how many moles I have, which is 1 mole of water in this case, okay? If I want to get to number of particles, I would take my 27.8 moles and I would multiply it by Avogadro's number. Moles times Avogadro's number gives you number of particles. If you're dealing with a molecule, it would give you number of molecules. If you're dealing with an atom, it would give you number of atoms, okay? If I said I have 27.8 moles of methane, and I asked you how many molecules of methane I have, you'd multiply 27.8 by Avogadro's number. If I asked you, I have 27.8 moles of methane, and I asked you, how many atoms of hydrogen do I have? Well, this is number of particles of methane. Okay, so for each methane particle, I have 4 hydrogen particles. So I need to multiply this number by 4, and that would get me 111.2 moles of hydrogen. And this number is what I would then multiply by Avogadro's number to get the number of atoms of hydrogen. If you believe you have learned something valuable, like the video. Otherwise, if you need more extra help, go to meekextrahelp.com, or you can join the Discord server. Have a fantastic day and enjoy life.